up to Jeezy. Y'all heard Jeezy was happily married.
Happily married.
Yep. He was happily married, right?
Just had a baby.
Yep. Taking pictures on a whole parade.
Yep.
With his little Moabite spouse.
He stopped trapping.
Stopped trapping.
He stopped trapping. He ain't trapping no more.
Look like a black monk.
Look like a black. You put him up there. Put him up.
Look like he about to do some wushu.
Now and all of a sudden,
Trouble in paradise.
read that for me, Sobes.
Jeezy files for divorce from Jenny May after 2 years of marriage.
You see this? This is what happens a lot in the black community. Now, we know, according to the scriptures.
Damn.
Look, put his toes, bro. That's what happens. But play it again, bro.
He went from trapping to having his toes out.
This is what happened when you marry outside your race.
Yes.
This is what happened when you marry outside your race.
Yes.
All the praises and the honor goes to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha Ha Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren. Shalom to you, few sisters, and shalom to the hopefully elect. Peace to you. This video I'm going to go into by a comment that was left by a brother that went in. I was going into this situation with Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, and how the possibilities that she could be an Israelite. But I'm gonna go into that in a second. Let's to get to the understanding of what we're saying. Let's read the comment. This comment is by Awabadia Banyasha Allah, and hopefully I'm pronouncing the name correctly. He says, Elder, I agree with the facts that we are scattered and we will look like all nations, but think that's not the majority. I feel in general the Israelites look like our people because of how we look, right? It's like I'm straining to read this, it's a little small. The curses are on us, especially in America. Now, I'm not here to debunk this comment, but I am going to add clarity to the comment. And again, on the video I did previously, I don't want everybody to think that since someone may look like another nation or they are from another nation, that's it, they're Israelites. That's not the case. We had Edomites, I believe white people, right, who come up and they say that they're from the native tribes or whatever. And there was times we looked at them and said, we don't believe that. So it's a spiritual thing. But does it matter whether Jeannie Mai is an Israelite? At this point, no, not to us, right? Because all we're concerned with is the elect. My whole point of doing this video is the fact that our people such as Manny Pacquiao, which we believe is an Israelite, can be an Israelite. You also got to understand when you go to the Philippines in Vietnamese, you had a lot of Jake there, right? They come out of the so-called black lineages. Now, even before slavery, the slavery today, you go all the way back in time, and guess what? It was happening back then. Our people was giving their sons and daughters to other nations. You can read this in the Old Testament. You can also read in the history going into Ptolemy, going into Egypt, right? The Greeks and Jake, Israelites was there too. So we are seriously scattered. But from the tribe of Yahweh, the real, the biblical Jews, in the majority we was brought over here in the slave ships, the southern tribes, not just from Africa, but from Europe. And what happened is, this man made it, it's not about skin color, because there's all kinds of nations that are dark. A lot of African Hamitic nations that are dark, right? But they was into sub-Saharan slave trade as well. So yes, they made it about the color, right? But it really was not about skin color as much it is about nationality. So I'm also going to get some scriptures to go into that. Again, the reason why I just want to clarify that everybody that we say that can be a foreigner, it's not cut and dry that they're Israelites. This woman, Jeannie Mai, may be a heathen. So to talk about that a little bit, going back into that, these brothers from the IUIC says, they looked at his sandals. Hollywood is weird. They got all kinds of stuff going on there anyway. And maybe he did take on the tradition. And they're correct. You're not supposed to follow the other gods and their traditions or whatever. But a lot of stuff we wear come from certain parts of the other world, right? And we make it a culture. And when you look at so-called black culture with your pants hanging down, right? Is that any better with your toes out and some sandals? See, we got to hold ourselves accountable for our behaviors and our so-called culture. Black culture is the worst culture on the planet. You got women sewing in weaves in their hair. Yeah, think about it. This is why I did the video on these guys. So these brothers, they're all about, using the situation with a man marrying a heathen woman in a negative stereotype to say this is what's wrong with us. No, what's wrong with us is because we're not following the scriptures. And you could have a heathen woman. There wasn't nothing wrong with that. We could show you several points in the scriptures. You're not supposed to follow after their gods. And the so-called black woman today, if you marry unto her right now, if you in the truth and you marry a black woman, guess what? She's following another god if she's not in the truth. Anyway, I'm going to get a couple scriptures real quick. Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass, in that day the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and all the islands of the sea. Right? And he shall set up a sign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, his elect, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So we must understand that Judah is not just here. And brother did leave a comment and said mostly here, but the Israelites are scattered. Man, they're all over the globe. And true, the bulk of the Israelites pretty much did come here, did come into slavery. And it's not just because of their skin. The skin was a signature that the Most High put on Edom, right, to make it a forward affliction towards us. Because remember, they said that the Canaanites, we're the tribe of Canaan. That's what they said. We're the Canaanites from going back to, Noah with Ham when he said, curse Canaan. So under the Christian authority, they said, well, they're the seed of Canaan and they're cursed, so we can go get them and so forth and so on. And it was business. So it wasn't just about that we were black. You had so-called black nations other than Israelites that were enslaved as well. But we caught the hell primarily because we're God's chosen people. We're the Most High's chosen people. That's why we caught the hell, and he put the spirit on Edom to do that. Now, as for other nations like the Irish, the Sicilians, some of them are Israelites, not all of them. We got to clear that up. But you do have a thing called past lives, right? And we suffered as Israelites throughout generations, right? It just so happened the ones that in the 1600s that had to come over here in slave ships caught the worst of it, man. Let's get another scripture. Let me go on down. Let me see here. Verse 16. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, what shall be left from Assyria, as it was to Israel in the day that he came out of the land of Egypt. Let's go to Genesis 2:7. And the Lord Yahweh formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils and breathed of life, and man became a living soul. So at the end of the day, you had, the three types of men: the sons of the Most High, the sons of men, the sons of the wicked, right? Or, pretty much. So all nations was created by the Heavenly Father, and all come from the dust, right? Everybody had so-called black complexion, so we can't hold to black complexion. And then you had Esau, who came actually out of Isaac, two nations in Rebekah's womb. You had Lot, Moab, and Ammon, So you had Ishmael from Abraham and Isaac, Abraham who had Isaac, Ishmael. So you see the point. So our people have been scattered abroad amongst all nations. Now, again, I'm not saying the comment is 100% wrong. I'm just saying, for the sake of the argument, that it is still possible that our people will look like this woman could be an Israelite. And this group, IUIC, is saying this is what happens when you marry a heathen. Now, when you go to Deuteronomy 28, it says, in 48, it says, thou shalt worship other gods, right? So if you're an Israelite foreigner and say this woman is Jeannie Mai is an Israelite, well, guess what? She's going to take roots to a Vietnamese or Chinese origin, right? If we're in Africa, in the east parts of Africa, right, we're going to take roots to the African origin. And let's not get it twisted. We all took roots to Christianity, which was another modern Christianity, which was another heathen origin with the cross and the Islam, right? So we all fell short of that glory, right? Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such are escaped the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel in truth. The remnant shall return, and even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power. America's going to be destroyed. And this is where his people are, right? The Jews, let me say Yahweh, the southern tribe, the northern tribe. The northern tribe was here, and the southern tribe came. So at the end of the day, it's going to be destroyed. But what we are really concerned with is the elect. That's the main concern. So again, the reason why I'm doing this video is not the fact that this woman is an Israelite, not that Hulk Hogan is an Israelite or Andre the Giant is an Israelite. It's the fact that if we ignore the fact that our people can look like them, you can be very well refusing or rejecting the elect. Right? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is from Hawaii. You see what I'm saying? And you can also understand, and we know his father was a Jake, but you can also understand that, wait a minute, what if the father looks Chinese, right, and the mother looks black, so-called black? What if the father is still an Israelite even though he looks Chinese? Look at this woman's baby. This baby looks Chinese or Vietnamese or something like that. But that's Jeezy's daughter. So we can't ignore that. And the fact that, look at the passport bros flying out of the country. What do you think they're doing? Our seed multiplies quick. This is why they have these agendas in place. Daniel's 12 and 10, just to get to the point. Many shall be purified, and many shall be made white. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So our whole focus, our whole point is on the elect. And again, the reason why I did the video, because these brothers, they didn't know, they can't say for sure that this is a heathen woman. They can't say that. How do we know? You go through the wars and everything that's been happening, the Israelites, the seed of Israel, even before we got here. What do you think we've been doing? So that's the point. I just want to clarify, in case some people don't understand, we might say a lot of people could be Jake, could be Jake, could be Jake, but then again, they may not be. That's why we say could be. We don't know. That's the point. And if you write certain situations off like IUIC did and said, okay, he's looking this way because he's following a heathen woman, well, guess what? That's what the black woman has done. The black woman, the so-called black woman, has introduced us, and the black fathers too, in general, black culture has introduced us to heathenistic culture. Do you see them running around with AR-15s and rap videos blowing and shooting each other away? That's the point. You can't look at this like that, man. In their minds, this is what happened when you follow heathen customs. No, what happens is you can take a picture of the hood and say, this is what happens when you follow heathen customs. Like Negroes running around with pants hanging down and handkerchiefs hanging off their back and shirts off on 10-speed or mountain bikes. That's good culture? Although we got flavor, no doubt. But you can't excuse the ignorance, right, against the heavily of us not being in the truth in general. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.